Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, church and social media family. Hope you had a great day.
I never know if this is when it's live or this is when it's live
I know.
because it does so many things that look like it's starting.
Is it started?
Now
We're 6
it's-
seconds
I
in.
see where now it's on my phone, so
It's not on my phone yet. We do have our phones tonight because that's just how we're rolling today.
do we don't know?
Ty, Leanne are at the Braves game right now.
Oh, fun.
What? Ty and Leanne. I hope it's a great time. Oh wait,
It looks fun.
hold on. We're on Lake Point Madison Kids.
Oh no. How'd
Is
you
this
do
right?
that?
Nope,
we're not.
Lake Point Madison. There it is. Hey
There's-
everyone, happy Wednesday
there's
to
the
you.
old-
Summertime on the back porch. There's the old social media family.
And social media family. That's see it
And
doesn't
social media family. What's wrong with that?
it doesn't start when it seems like it starts.
It doesn't start
you said
when it
like a
seems
whole
like it
sentence.
starts. It's true. Cousin Jennifer, how are you,
Hi
cuz?
Jennifer.
Is your week going well
Hi Sarah.
in upstate New York? Sarah, good evening to you.
Jennifer, I'm so thankful to see that your friend's car
Wow,
accident
right?
turned out
Mercy,
okay.
gracious, heaven
That was
help me.
crazy. What are you
I
doing?
was trying to do this one. I was on the wrong side. Jennifer, how is your what's the
I
latest
think she's
update?
okay.
Is it okay?
I mean,
is that the last update?
That was the last thing I heard. She
that's
typed
wonderful
up
news.
she wrote a thing from the hospital saying that she would be okay, but it's very scary.
That is absolutely scary. So far, I can't wait to visit. Oh,
I
that'll
know.
be
I'm
hey, that's
excited.
right. July's here tomorrow.
Almost, yeah.
Hey, I think it's probably
Okay.
hotter in upstate New York than it is in Georgia right now. Tommy, that's your only wave for the night. You told me to hold you to that, and I shall.
There's your first wave.
First
Unless you're
and
cutting grass.
foremost. Happy.
Wed-nes-day.
That's how I break it down every time.
My third grade
Make sure
teacher
you-
told me that. Otherwise, I would never.
Was your
spell
third grade teacher your mom? Because that would be
it.
awesome.
No, Miss Ratcliff
No, well,
was my third grade
I
teacher.
never had Miss Ratcliff. Happy Wednesday, RG. Happy Wednesday to you.
My fourth grade teacher was my mom.
Oh, she's already home. Jennifer said she's already home.
I thought so. I think the day that I read the update, she had come home. But that's awesome. 75 where Jennifer is.
70. It's probably 80s, low 80s right now out here.
I don't know.
Molly and Heather are here. Holy
Hi,
cow.
Molly and Heather.
Miss Molly and Miss Heather. Sorry, guys, when I called you early on the phone, I was on Scott Road in Putnam County, which apparently doesn't have a lot of cell phone service. So it was dropping in and out.
77 here.
77
But the
in
same as upstate
Buckhead.
New York.
She took a shower.
It
she
also
said.
said that it's raining here, but it's not. But that must be where the thunder that we keep hearing.
Can y'all hear the wind from there? Let's just take a moment. The wind stopped. She has to go for an MRI still. I understand.
Goodness.
Okay, got that one going. Jennifer, keep the updates coming with that. Molly and Heather, hope y'all had a great evening. What did y'all have for dinner? What did everybody have for dinner in your houses? Jennifer, what's for dinner? What do people eat in New York State? Like what do y'all eat up
Do you
there?
guys
What
have
is it?
Dairy Queen? Because that's what
Kaylee.
we had. Hey,
We did have Dairy
Kaylee.
Queen.
We had Dairy Queen for dinner. I don't even know if
And
you guys have Dairy Queen.
The Girl Scout Thin Mint Blizzard lived up to the billboard.
It was good.
I was impressed.
I don't even normally eat a Blizzard, but that
Nope.
was great.
Put that one away.
Leftover tacos. We had leftover
That's what we had for lunch today. We had
sure did.
tacos last night. That's
We
man,
had
great
Taco
minds.
Tuesday with Ken and Michelle. They came over to meet the puppy.
That
made-
puppy, he's growing.
He is. He's good. He's doing great. I had a
Getting-
lot of people reach out to me last week and ask if we were going to be okay with the puppy. But the puppy's good. He's
The puppy's
almost
good.
happy to sleep through the night in his crate.
I
He
usually
doesn't
get about
sleep
3
through the
o'clock.
night,
I'll
but
get
he's,
3 o'clock, let him
he's
out,
happy about it. More
and
happy.
then he's pretty much good to go at 6:15. 6:15 on, he's ready to go.
Then he's up early, so there's no sleeping in.
Whoa, Heather. Okay, so Jennifer
They
had.
are good to freeze, Jennifer.
Did you hear that? I think a tree just fell in the woods.
I'm pretty sure a tree just fell.
We still have Thin
And no
Mint
one
Girl
was there,
Scout
and we
cookies.
still heard it.
Jennifer, yes, we would like 2 boxes. Heather Chamberlain, Fresh Market Pizzas, plural,
Salad and sushi.
and sushi.
Wow. Wow.
That's nice.
I didn't even know
That's
that was a thing. Hey, Jenny.
Jenny Abernathy. Hey, are you in the Boondocks yet, Jenny? Like I know you want to answer that. Like you're not supposed to tell people when you're out of town.
That's random.
Well, she's in our life group, and we've been joking
The Boondocks.
about where they're going on vacation, and she
Oh,
said she
okay.
was going way up into the mountains. How was that trip, Jenny? If you're already back, if you're not already back, don't answer. Stranger danger if we get it.
We are securely in summer mode at our house. And with the puppy, we don't leave a ton, so we're just home playing board games and stuff. Today we had a fight about Netflix. The kids will consistently fight about who gets to pick the next episode, and then Nathaniel will just turn the TV off if he's not happy. And he has this other remote that works this TV out here, and he can bring it inside, and so he'll just like walk in and turn the TV off if he's mad about it. So we had a big fight about that for the 100th time this week, and so I made him leave it off, and we played Monopoly Junior.
That's good. That's what did Luke. Hey, this is a great line. What you texted me Luke's line today about going to jail.
What
this
was
is
it?
good.
Nathaniel went to jail. You know, when you play Monopoly, you can go to jail or you can just be visiting. And he had to go to jail, and he was like, "Oh no, I don't want to go to jail." Luke said, "It's okay. You can just be like a preacher, and you can just visit the jail."
That's what we do. We visit, and then we get up out. That's good.
So then every time after that somebody was just visiting jail, that was, "I'm just a preacher visiting jail."
That's what he said. This is a preacher visiting jail. I think it is raining. Look that way. Yes,
it is
raining.
raining.
Starting to drizzle.
Wow.
We're getting there.
It doesn't look like it.
We're
There's a
getting
very
there.
strange storm. It's been rolling in for 3 hours.
Yep.
And
We
it's
keep
the
hearing
sunshine.
serious thunder, but not a lot of cloud cover. Tim had Mexican. Did you eat at the Los
It's a big
Charros?
week for Mexican.
Tim? Or the...
Dos Amigos, you mean?
No, Tim's on the north. He's in North Rockdale.
Oh, yeah. Los
Tim
Charros.
is North Rockdale.
Which one is that? Los Charros?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it is. We're about to find out.
Near the hospital?
Yeah. Just picked the girls up from the park. My goodness. People are just having a good old time.
What a fun
Virginia
day.
just get back home Sunday. It was great. Blue Ridge.
Blue Ridge.
Y'all, that's
Oh,
fantastic.
That sounds nice.
I'm glad it was a good trip. That's wonderful. We are, like Shawnee said, here with the dog for the foreseeable future. So, Cozumel, that's what it is, Cozumel.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
I think we ate there one time.
For some reason, I thought for a second someone was saying they're in Cozumel. But I see, just the restaurant.
He was in Cozumel.
I've never eaten at that
the
one.
restaurant. I think it's in North Rockdale. We're just chasing them tonight. I know. It's a good time. But no, we had a great Wednesday. Y'all have seen Rob Rayner a few times this week. He's been in the church parking lot, and him and Joanne are just cruising around. Joanne said he's being really good about reminding her how to drive and stuff. So that's been fun. But just wide open. So Rob's doing really well. Continue to call for real. I talked to him yesterday. Said, "Man, tell anybody to call me anytime." And he's getting stronger every day. So make sure you keep praying for and checking in with Rob. Also, another prayer request I just got just a little while ago. Miss Judy Benoff. Her son is Jacob, and her grandkids and daughter-in-law all go to the church. Judy has had just been a couple of years with her back. She's had a very bad infection in her spine. So she's back in the hospital. And I just talked to Jacob earlier, and Leanne Howell was talking to Michelle, Jacob's wife, before that. And anyway, they said, one, she just really needs some prayer. But also, for real, if you're up for, hospitals are slowly starting to open back up and let visitors in. They said she actually would love, a visit. So if you happen to be in Athens, you're picking up some Krispy Kreme or,
because that's why people go to Athens.
Yeah. Visiting Herschel Walker with his campaign. You know it's up. Y'all have heard the news. Just feel free to stop by Athens Piedmont, for real.
Are they letting visitors come in? I
He
guess
told
if
me
she
today.
asked,
You can be overwhelmed with it, I'm sure. But he said they're letting 2 people at a
so
time
great.
in. And like for a long time, y'all, it was like 2 a day. Once, it doesn't matter if it was 7 in the morning.
It's 2 at a time.
I'm pretty sure it's 2 at a time. Over 16, I think they said 2 at a time. So
that's
pretty good.
Great.
So really, really good.
Good.
End of July. Jennifer,
You're coming here?
We'll be
End
there.
of July?
We'll be here.
That's
End of July.
awesome. Yay.
Good times. Also, she's not on here tonight, y'all. She's on here a lot. Jennifer's my cousin, the upstate of New York. My other cousin, Sue, from South Mississippi, and her husband, David, both retired at 5:01 p.m. Mississippi time today.
That just happened, right?
Just happened about an hour ago. So,
congratulations.
cousin
On the
Sue,
same day?
cousin David, they both clocked
How
out
did
on the same day.
get that out?
They planned that thing well. So
That is
retired
to
life
the
is
minute.
coming. They said they might take I
That
heard through the
is
grapevine they might
awesome.
come to Georgia. We need to take a trip to Mississippi sometime, just say, hey. But
That is very
congratulations to cousin Sue.
Wow, I did not
and
know
cousin
that.
David
That's a big
in
day.
Mississippi. Yeah, that's
Man,
right.
can you imagine retiring on the same day? That'd be awesome. What do you don't have to think about anything.
I think about how you're going to spend the next X amount of years hanging out, and we get along well.
Yeah.
We would be fine.
We would be totally fine, especially if we got a new puppy.
Who would get a part-time job somewhere else first?
You.
Yep, hands down.
100%.
Hands down. One of my favorite preachers growing
Danny's
up.
not a sit around the house kind of guy,
It's
and
not.
I am a sit around the house kind of girl. So those don't go well. It's like oil and water.
Oil and Water. One of my favorite preachers growing up. He was a guest preacher, and he was so old back then. It was Linda Say. Anybody from Damascus on here? Linda Say's father. He was a preacher in McDuffie County, and he was like mid-80s when he came to preach. And all I remember was he was almost completely blind, but one of the funniest preachers I have ever heard.
That's
like
gonna
just
be
a
you, probably.
sweet, funny. Oh my goodness, I remember that. I remember some of his
And
jokes.
this
Just
was
good
his
stuff.
retirement.
Yeah, he
was
never
working.
stopped. He always he just like guest preached at other churches. So Lake Point, you're stuck with me till I'm 85. We're gonna see what happens. We stay busy. Congratulations, that's right. So
Yeah,
it's good
Danny,
times.
I think you guys got that from Papaw. I think you and Jennifer are probably on the Papaw train, and I'm on the Rose Herald plan.
You are more of a Rose.
I'm a mammal for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
Little
That's
bit taste
good.
with it.
Somebody's got to be the mammal in the house.
it's good.
It's me.
So y'all, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let us know. A couple of fun things that are coming up. If you're close enough to watch fireworks in Georgia, all right? So if you're in New York, it's going to be a little bit difficult to watch that. At Billwood
bit.
Park this Saturday, we invite you to come out. We're going to be grilling hot dogs and handing those things out all over the place. I think Ken, I was talking to him today. He said he's going to get there around like 5:30, you know?
Right now
So if
the
you're
weather
there,
is staying clear.
it's staying clear. It's a day-to-day kind of thing. So if it's storming outside, use your best judgment. If you want to come and risk it, come on out. But we'll be doing the hot dogs, and we have a huge crew there just for our church, y'all. It's always a lot of fun. So if you don't have anywhere to watch fireworks this Saturday, come on out to Madison, come out to Billwood Park, and check us out.
It's
We
a
would love
really
to-
great fireworks
It's a great
show.
fireworks
Every
show,
year I'm
and
impressed.
just small town, like it's neat. All the kids, it's all right there in the fields. All the kids, it's just fun. So
Lots of fun. Bring a camping chair,
we'd love
a
to see
blanket.
everybody. That's right.
I think our kids are trying to talk us into doing a lemonade stand. I'm trying to talk them out of doing a lemonade stand. I don't think they're really thinking it through.
No, we had 2 lemons. They were ready to open a lemonade stand earlier with 2 lemons.
On our street, which means we
Not a
would
lot
have
of
been
traffic.
the only 2
No,
customers.
there's a house being built on the street. They'd get cement trucks going up and
Maybe.
down. But that's
Maybe the
about it.
construction traffic. And we were like, let's think this out. Let's maybe shop for some more lemons, and then Carolyn said that would be too hot. So it's probably not going to happen. Don't get your hopes up.
Pace
We're
yourself.
not that invested in the business plan. I
Pace
think
yourself.
maybe they just wanted lemonade and money. They're like, what can we do? We can make this lemonade, and I think they thought they're going to make like $50 off of the 2 of us.
Yeah,
drinking
they said
lemonade.
we all are going to buy it.
She's
I'm
like,
like,
well,
I'm
we're
not buying
going to
more
charge
lemonade.
$3 a cup, and I was like, not if you want anybody to buy it.
Absolutely
What
not.
is this, Starbucks?
No, it's not. It's the Hero House.
Anyway, I wouldn't hold your breath for the lemonade.
So that's one we have coming up. Also, y'all, this is going to be the largest vacation Bible school. One of the largest. She's been in some big ones. Eastridge had some big ones back in the day. But I
it
am
really will be
thinking we
large.
have over 80 kids registered right now. I'm predicting over 100 kids are going to be at VBS next week.
Easily, because
Well over 100. So
our 3 are not registered.
there's a lot of kids not registered that are staff kids. So next week,
80
Tuesday
plus
through Friday, it's going to be a blast. Every evening up there at the church, Leanne's done a great job. Every
can't
position's covered. You're doing check-in.
There will
right?
be skits.
I'm
so I heard.
acting. Not gonna lie. Not gonna.
I'm not acting.
I'm just throwing out the word Baywatch.
It's like
I'm just
win-win,
saying. That's
win.
kind of. That's.
Yes,
They
I'll be at
said-
the registration table, so pre-register because I think that we're gonna
We
have
got.
all
She's
hands
got a
on
system.
deck.
It's gonna be a party.
It's gonna be good. So come early, maybe register first if you haven't. Be patient, but it'll be good.
patient.
We'll
It's
get
gonna be
you
a
in there
great
as fast
time.
as we
So
can.
next week's VBS, we would love to see you at vacation. Well, bring your kids, grandkids, and neighborhood kids, and all that stuff. We'll have a great time.
Don't come without the kids. That's
And if you're not working, go get dinner or something and come back. We'll make sure we
make
get
it
it
worth
back
your
to
while.
you. I think those are you have any other announcements?
Oh, I think that's it. I can't think. I'll think about it.
Okay.
That's all I know for now.
All you know for now. One other prayer concern.
There
I
are
didn't
some
ask-
church softball games that we
church softball games. Hey, we're going tomorrow night.
There are some tomorrow night. I think it's 8 and 9 o'clock back to back. I want to say for sure there's an 8 o'clock. It's either 7 and 8. I think it's 8
7,
and 9.
8, 9. We'll be there one of those. So y'all check the schedule.
And then July
our family will be
12th,
there.
Lake Point A plays against Lake Point B.
Lake Point's going to win. You know
At
what I mean?
7.
We're going to win that game. I want to see a softball fight that night.
Check out the
Between
church
the Lake
softball
Point
schedule. There
teams.
are other games, but those are the 2 that I was interested in, and I knew we would be able to go. We were out of town for the first couple of weeks, so We'll probably be there tomorrow, maybe with the dog if we decide
That's
we
right.
want to brave the.
We'll see. Pace yourself. Pace yourself. So yeah,
We'll see.
y'all, it's gonna be good. A few more softball games coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Also, one last thing for usually I do these at the beginning because people might dip out midway. James and Rebecca are
They're
going
going
to
to
Harmony.
Harmony in the morning and Wash Rock
Those jokers are gonna get
in the evening.
the
They're going to
Lord.
be VBS
They're
out.
gonna be VBS'd.
We're not playing, Jennifer.
Jennifer, we're
We're
not.
not
It's been a
playing,
crazy
yeah.
summer. This is the first time I haven't played church softball in a very, very long time. So we are going to attend, hang out in the stands. But no,
We learned a long time ago that if I'm playing, that means we had to
if
almost.
Shonda's on the
forfeit,
roster, we
and
struggle.
then we
Like
needed
for
a
struggling to
girl
find people.
on the roster.
If I'm on the roster, it's usually like right field action. No disrespect to right field. Mine was more
I'm
disrespectful.
not
It
even-
was like
I'm not
I was,
even-
I was out there.
in the right field usually. I'm pretty bad.
We're not playing, but we
I'm
are
bad.
going to cheer
But I
on
will
the home
cheer
team.
the team happily from the stands.
Check us out this coming Sunday, and we're going to give a couple
It is still
announcements.
fun.
One in each of the services, y'all. With our Greater Things 3, that's our building fund, our building initiative campaign. Y'all, it's been fun. So I've got a big update for that this coming Sunday. Come out to the church or check us out online. I would love to share that with you. We're getting a couple other things in, but it's
That
been
seems
good.
very mysterious.
It's mysterious. It's crazy. You're gonna want to check that out. You're not gonna miss that one.
I tried, guys. I really tried to get him to just
Oh wow!
catcher, shortstop. Wow. See, that's above my level of it. I really can't. I will strike out 3 strikes. You're out. Done. That's my involvement in the whole game. So shortstop. would
My buddy
take-
Wayne Seymour, who I call him Coach to this day, and his 2 sons, Josh and Jeff. Those 3 guys,
man.
insane ball players, like
Definitely.
extremely good. So we started a softball team at Haven Fellowship, my last church, and I was like, "Hey y'all, let's get this thing going. It'll be a great outreach," and it was awesome. Built a lot of great relationships. But that was at the time. If you ever heard of a church, it used to be in existence called Church in the Now, right there on I-20.
Mm-hmm.
They had like 3 or 4 teams. Okay, this is right after Ryan Klesko left out. I mean, they were big time, and their teams.
I don't think he
were
was on the church softball team, but
stacked with guys that.
well, they would have 4 or 5
Oh
teams,
my
and
goodness,
then
it was just insane.
I'm like,
and
where did these people?
I'm not
come
gonna lie. I would ask them like, "Hey, what time does service start?" And they would go, "What are you
What
talking
service?
about?" I'm just neither here nor there. But
It was
we were
rough.
short one night, and Wayne was like, "Hey man, I really need to go on third." And I was like, "That's not me. That's not me, Wayne." He said, "No, just knock it down. You'll be fine." So they put me on third, first inning, top of the first. First joker drilled it to third. I knocked it down in about, anyway, it was rough. And at that first hit, I watched the guy as he trotted to first base and then second, turn around to his dugout and say, "Everybody hit it to third."
Hit it to third.
And they just
I
drilled it
remember that night
over
so
and
clearly.
over, and I was not even, I wasn't even embarrassed. I was just like, "Get me out. This is awful."
It goes beyond embarrassment.
It was
because
so
there's
they ran the score
nothing
up
you can
so
do.
high because of me in that first game.
That
So
you're
after
just
that inning,
arrested.
Wayne was like, "Hey, I think we're gonna pull you from
think
third."
we're
I was like,
gonna
"That
move
would be
you."
fantastic." I do want anything.
So
Anything but
we're
this.
very fortunate to have 2 very talented teams that don't include either of the 2 of us. We're happy that way.
That's right.
They're happier
Absolutely
that
love
way. We're all happy that way.
Laura, Tim says, "Hey, Miss Linda, good to see you
Hey, Miss
on this
Linda.
thing here tonight." We are going to be in the book of First Kings. If you have a device or a Bible nearby, the book of First Kings. It's a cool story. It's in the middle of a lot of other things that are going on in this guy named Elijah's life. He's just talking to this lady named Jezebel. You might have heard the word Jezebel used in different sayings. It wasn't going well. You know, Jezebel wasn't inviting Elijah over for dinner. You know, he's actually fleeing her. Anyway, people were just making horrendous decisions, and he was still standing for the truth and standing for what was right. So we get to this story where Elijah is actually fleeing Jezebel after all the prophets of Baal have been defeated. Like, it's just this crazy town. I mean, for real, like in the last couple of chapters here, in the last chapter, Elijah calls down fire from heaven and it consumes it's cool stuff. Read 1 Kings chapter 18 in just a little while. Anyway, Elijah has what we would call like a mountaintop experience. Like, life has never been better. I mean, this is just insane. The Lord's showing up. And he leaves that setting, he leaves that scene pretty freaked out because people are pretty upset with him and they're coming after him. So he finds himself in a cave on a mountain that's also Mount Sinai. So Mount Sinai is a pretty popular cave. It's where Moses got the 10 Commandments, where the Lord spoke to Moses in the burning bush. My brother-in-law, shout out, he's not there now, so I can share it, sent me a picture of what was likely Mount Sinai the other day. He's
It's like
in
a
the
range
Marine
of
Corps.
mountains, and one of them is
He's like,
certainly
man, I
Mount
can't
Sinai.
be specific. He says, one of these. I was like, that's closer than I've ever been to any of that stuff. So
It's very
very
cool.
proud and very amazing. But anyway, so Elijah's in this cave and he's struggling. And he has this in 1 Kings chapter 19. I'm going to begin in verse 9 and just read this really, really cool story and see if we might get one or two things out of it for us this evening. It says, there he, that's Elijah, came to a cave and he lodged in it. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him, and he, the Lord, said to him, what are you doing here, Elijah? Which is just fun if the Lord ever asks you that question, like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? He said, that's Elijah said, I have been very jealous for the Lord, the God of hosts. For the people of Israel have forsaken your covenant. They've thrown down your altars. They've killed your prophets with a sword. And I, even I only, am left. And now they're seeking my life to take it away. Translation, it's been a hard little bit. He's been in a hard stint. Verse 11, and he said, the Lord said, you remember Elijah's in a cave. He said to Elijah, go out and stand at the mount before the Lord. And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind tore the mountains and broke in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, the sound of a low whisper. In mine, this is the English Standard Version. At the bottom it says, or sound, a thin silence. Like just this really, really quiet moment. A low whisper, a thin silence. Verse 13. And when Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his cloak, went out, and stood at the entrance of the cave. And behold, there came a voice to him and said, well, look at the first thing. What are you doing here, Elijah? Which is awesome because that's how he started the conversation. What are you doing here,
This
Elijah?
one's like, I guess I'm
He's like,
surviving an earthquake and a fire. What are
and
you
wind.
doing?
So this was part of my devotion this morning. Sometimes I'll use this thing. It's called Lectio 365. It's pretty cool. It's got these usually like British or Scottish or something that are reading these things. It's just a cool way to have scripture read to you. But they did this reading, and as they read it, Tommy McFarland, if you're still on here, man, I was thinking about you. Well, I think this would be your camp. I was thinking about Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh.
The band. My dad was an Earth, Wind. I think that's kind of his genre back in the day. Earth, Wind, and Fire. And I wondered, somebody might know this tidbit, is this where they got the name for Earth, Wind, and Fire? Because an earthquake and a wind and a fire passed by.
Yeah.
Like in my mind growing up, I was like a Captain Planet. I know. I get it. There's
water.
the jokes. Earth, wind, water, fire. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. They got it from this. They did not get that story from the Bible. But I do wonder if Earth, Wind, and Fire came from that. But
Interesting.
if you know that answer, shout it out to us because I'd be interested in knowing it. But I thought it was interesting this morning as I was praying through this and just wanted to share it with y'all because it kind of ties into what we talked about Sunday in service, that a lot of times in my life I can get easily distracted with lots of things that are going on. This story actually says the Lord caused a fire, a wind, and an earthquake to all happen, and then the thin silence, then the gentle low whisper came, and that's when he was speaking. So to me, one of the things I got out of it was sometimes I got to be a little patient to hear from the Lord. Like it might not happen as soon as I want it to. I want to say, Lord, if you would just speak to me, I'm going to give you about 10 seconds to speak to me. That'd be great. And I'll have my life change. And I'll wait for,
you would think that if you were waiting for the Lord to speak to you and then a big wind or earthquake or even a fire came, you would think, this is it.
This is the Lord speaking.
Like burning bush moment, literally talking to me out of a fire. And then Elijah's
Yes,
like,
good.
no, that was just an earthquake, just a fire. You would expect it to be in the middle of all those big things, but
Right.
it's not. And
Right.
so for him to, I guess, have known
Yeah.
that wasn't it.
And we don't know. Somebody on here might be able to look it up, but we don't know how long there it is. Dan, I knew you would have an answer. The astrological elements affecting the band leader's zodiac sign.
Wow. Really?
Mic drop. Dad Googled that
Plus,
one.
Jennifer's right. The rings in Captain Planet were, they had to put
The
the
rings.
rings together.
They had the rings. That's
With
absolutely
our
true.
powers combined.
Earth.
We didn't
wind,
actually watch Captain
water
Planet,
for
but,
good reason.
but
Sorry, Dad. I watched Captain Planet. But knowing that
I
that's
knew
the
enough
case,
about it. There were rings for sure.
we don't know how long it took the earthquake or the wind or the fire to take place.
That's true.
In my mind, like in Genesis, it says,
like a
and the
lot.
sun came up and the sun went down the end of day one. You know, like we get some literal kind of things. Here, there's not a lot of literal things. As far as we know, I mean, it could have been like boom, boom, boom. Or, I mean, I need to read a little bit more to see if it says, and the next day he went. But just out of this little passage right here, y'all, he could have been there for a little bit of time
That's true.
waiting through it. So I love what you said, because he could have seen what was first, the wind, and said, oh, that's the Lord. The Lord's going to destroy everything. Let's go. But that wasn't the Lord. That was the Lord sending a wind to get their attention. That's good. Hello means is from
I wonder, it doesn't
Ohio.
even say how he knew it wasn't. It just says, but the Lord wasn't in the
But the
wind.
Lord wasn't in it.
It must have been clear to him.
Like he knew. And y'all, this guy was familiar with the voice of the Lord. I mean,
and
he's
then-
the one that
and
called
then
on
the
the Lord
Lord's
multiple
like,
times.
what are you doing here? I feel like there's been all these natural disasters happening around me. Is that the question that you would expect the Lord to ask you in that
What are you
moment?
doing here?
I don't know.
But I mean, you figure that if you really, and that's the thing, we didn't cover all that stuff. Like Elijah has just destroyed the prophets of Baal,
and called down fire from heaven.
called down fire from heaven, and it happened.
So he's familiar.
But also like he's a very wanted man right now. So like he is being hunted down. But you're right. It's like Elijah went from mountaintop to valley overnight.
Immediately.
Like he went from being the Lord's with me, I can do anything in life,
like, where are
to
you?
abandoned and afraid. So it's a very real story. You know, I mean, he's definitely there. But yeah, what does he say? Because it says in verse 14, the Lord says, "What are you doing here?" And then 14 says, Elijah said, "I've been very jealous for the Lord
Like,
God
I've
of
been
hosts."
looking
He
for
repeats
you,
himself.
basically. I'm scared. They're hunting me down.
They
I'm
want
the
to kill me.
last survivor.
And then the Lord says in 15, "Go, return on your way to the wilderness of Damascus. And when you arrive, you shall anoint Hazael to be king of Syria. Jehu, son of Nimshi, shall anoint the king of Israel. Elisha, son of
I think
Shaphat."
this is actually the calling of Elisha.
He gets it there. And
which
he
is his
he's
predecessor.
passing it down. But the Lord, and that's what's crazy to me, y'all, because like, and you said that a minute ago, I'm just chasing this. Like, if Elijah had during the wind, the earthquake, or the fire said, "I know what the Lord's saying, I'm going to go," he could have taken the message of, "I think he wants me to go back," or "The Lord's frustrated with me."
It
Y'all,
would have been the wrong message.
not many times in Scripture, I mean, the Lord gives extremely specific details, like names of individuals and who to meet. And where, verse 17 says, "The one who escapes from the sword of Hazael shall Jehu put him to death." I mean, he's given a ton of stuff.
But you're right. If Elijah had
details.
gotten impatient at the earthquake and said, "This must have been the Lord," I'm supposed to infer this one
What the
message.
Lord wants me to do.
I'll just go and do what I think is right,
He
as
would have
opposed to
missed.
just waiting
That's
to
right.
know that for sure this is the Lord speaking to me now.
Something happens.
So
one
he
way or
had to
the
know.
other.
I think that it came down to his ability to know that
That's right.
was not him. That was not him. And I think maybe, like, if I were standing with Elijah, I would have been like, "That had to have been him. It's an earthquake. Now there's a fire. When do you ever see wind, earthquake, fire back to back to
Boom.
back? This has to be God." And he was saying,
That's not it.
So just the experience of the wisdom of knowing,
Yeah.
still wait. Because if it were me, I would probably be telling him,
That's it. That might be the takeaway
this
for the whole
could
night.
be the
Still
whole
wait.
message. What are you waiting for? And he was just like, I'm
not
this
there
is-
yet.
He's not in it. But it's worded oddly. It just says the Lord was not in it. It doesn't say that he knew the Lord was not in it.
That's right.
It's interesting. I think that there are times in life where sometimes you feel like you're in the middle of a bunch of chaos, and all you really want is to know, what am I supposed to do? And it is hard to wait.
It is hard to wait. It's hard to wait.
But I will say that I feel like when you know the Lord is telling you to do something, you do
And when
have
you're
a sense like, no, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have that sense about it, that
wait,
peace,
there's nothing
it's
wrong with
probably
waiting.
not him.
That's why we always say, like, God says, Jesus says, "Ask, seek, and knock." You know, it's a process of, you don't just go and start kicking down doors. I mean, you can,
And
force
then
your
when
way.
the Lord did speak to him, he said, "What do you want?" Elijah said, "I'm scared. They're killing people. I'm the only one." He told the Lord exactly what he needed, and then the Lord gave him specific down to the exact
All the way down to the
timeline.
people that are coming after him. He said, "This is how we're going to get through this." I'm not saying, I would love to say that if you set aside 7 days right now, the Lord's going to give you that specific of instructions for whatever you're struggling with. I can say, out of personal experience, I do not wait on the Lord to speak enough.
I don't think anybody
Definitely
does.
not long enough. You know what I mean? And I know, and I'm not making excuses for myself, kind of am. But like in Jesus' day, you know, let's be honest, they didn't have television or Facebook or cars, you know. I mean, they weren't able to get places quick. But look at how many times in Scripture, Jesus is God's son. Jesus would go off by himself to pray. Y'all, for days and weeks and maybe months at a time sometimes. And you're like, I don't have time to do that. I'm not saying the Lord wants us all to go out in the woods and pray for 40 days. But I do think
But if
I
Jesus
would
had time to
benefit.
do it, we probably have time to do
And
it.
if it's a big enough decision, carve out the time for that. So I
Well,
think that
more
is
than
important.
10 minutes, which is what we probably
Right.
normally allot to things. Like
Yeah.
even big, huge decisions, I will find myself not really allotting
Mhm.
actual physical time.
Yeah.
Like I just want to know the answer now. I'm going to add 10 minutes to my morning prayer time,
Mm-hmm.
and 10 minutes may not be. It probably is not.
Yeah.
The timeline.
But
of
and
the
I
Lord
found
is.
too, like if you're trying to decide like which way to go to town, we live out in the country. We can go to town 3 different ways. There's about a minute between each one. It's easy. Sometimes maybe it's a game. I'm like, which way should I go? Mix things up a little bit. If I say a prayer, which I usually don't in that moment, like, Lord, which way should I go? I was like, come on, just pick one. This is trivial kind of
It's not
stuff.
life or death.
What I have seen in my life is in the times, I've never been hunted down by a bunch of folks that were Baal worshipers, but in the times of life where you're desperate, like where you're desperate for a response, I listen more.
Yeah.
And I think God's got my attention. I'm not saying He causes. We're not going to that stuff. What I'm saying is like there have been times where I'm like, Lord, if you don't speak, I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing. Those are the times where I think we can say, all right, we're gonna wait for a little while. We're gonna sit in this for a little while.
I don't think that the Lord ever expects you to make a really huge decision in the midst of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So He's not going to say, figure it out on your own if you really truly don't have the answer and you're just in the midst of chaos. He will. I mean, Elijah was in the midst of chaos, a lot of chaos. But the Lord was not late in bringing the answer. He
That's
made
right.
it. The people didn't find him wherever he was in the cave.
Mm-hmm.
So he might have felt like this is taking too long.
Yeah.
But it was not too long.
That's right.
It was what he needed. He had the information he needed when he needed it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you feel like it's late, it's not late.
Yep.
So I feel like the chaos is probably a big clue that it's not time to know the way to go yet.
Yeah, I like that. I like what Sarita said. John 10:14. I am the good shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
I know my sheep and am known by my own. That's right. And Jesus says they know my voice. Like they're going to know. And you're right, Sarita. You're right. And we're right there with you in that. You'll know that.
You'll know.
Like when the Lord is speaking, when He is moving, that's indescribable. Other than saying the Lord is doing this. Like this is something. I haven't seen many earthquakes, although Columbia County is on a fault line. Dad, we've been through that stuff. I've been in places where wildfires have happened after they've happened, and we've seen some strong winds before. All that to say, like, I've seen some crazy stuff, but something happens when you get the calm after those things take place. Jesus so often says peace. When the Lord shows up through angels, and what they often say, fear not, it's going to be okay. And I love that part too. It says, in a gentle whisper, the Lord spoke.
Mm-hmm.
Can He speak through an earthquake? Sure. Can He speak through loud thunder and voice? A hurricane? That's right. 100%. But in this story for Elijah, He spoke in a really,
And if you don't feel like you know His voice, then this is a good time to start trying to learn it better. Because I think
That's
you can always learn it more. My Bible study, we're going through some like Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. It talks a lot about wisdom. And what it was discussing in the last couple of weeks is part of wisdom is the more wisdom you gain, the more you realize you still need more wisdom. It's like you'll never actually arrive at the place where you're like, now I know enough. And the more you seek it out, the more you start to realize, I'm not even as close as I thought I was. You start off thinking, I'm a pretty wise person. But the more you truly learn, you start to see you have so much further to go.
Yeah.
And so I think that it can be the same with knowing the voice of the Lord. You may feel like you know it pretty well, but that may be for the set of circumstances that you've been in that's pretty calm. And if something changed, you might have to get to know it a little bit better. And I think what you learn is you can always know it better.
Yeah, you can always know better.
I mean,
Always
even
know more.
Elijah, who could call down fire from heaven, still had to discern, this is not it. This is not it. This is the voice of the
That's
Lord.
right. And I love that. Love that. And Jennifer says, like a hurricane, eyes calm with the scales all around. Some of the wisest people I know and have known, and some of the people I would say are closest to the Lord, like people I look at and go, man, they're close to God. Jennifer, live out that type of idea well. In that it's not that I haven't met many of those folks, and they go, well, everything's fine in the world. Everything. It's not that, but it is. It's more like they're living in this little
calm.
eye, knowing that it's chaos all around.
That's true.
But right here, like in this little pocket right here, we're with the Lord. There is calm and peace here, and it's easy to get distracted and see things flying around and go, "What's happening?" So I don't know. We don't know who that might be for, or if it's just some good words to discuss tonight. But I just wanted to share it with you. We felt led to share it with you. So
Yeah, I like that
one,
story.
be still, like for real, like hang in, be still a little bit longer, listen a little bit longer, wait on Him.
Listening
Throughout
is
Scripture,
hard, and it's not something that people in general in our society, most of us don't have to listen ever all day. You can go the whole day without really listening to anybody. So it's a skill that you can
Yeah.
practice, especially with the Lord. But it's something that really does take practice.
Yep.
For sure.
So practice it, live it out, y'all. And if we can help in any way, like we've said before on this many times, when we're in storms, one of the greatest ways we've seen the Lord move, naturally through His Word, through reading His Word, but also is through other people saying, "All right, we're going to be right here with you."
Definitely.
If you see somebody else going through a storm, it's never wrong to reach out in love and say, "I just want you to know I see this, and I'm here for you, and we're gonna walk with you." So let's just keep doing that one. If y'all need anything, let us know. We'd love to see you online or in person on Sunday, and come out to some
Softball or fireworks.
softball,
or VBS.
fireworks, VBS. We'll be in
All
it, y'all.
fun things.
All fun things. We would love to see you there. Have a great Wednesday evening, and if you need anything, let us know.
We'll be here.
Take care of yourselves. Take care of yourself, Shantae.
I feel like we're wrapping this up for a lot. Take
Good
care of
night.
yourselves.
God bless. It's not done yet until I click this button right here.